I used to think my dad was the kind of man other dads secretly admired. Solid, dependable, present, but never overbearing. The kind of guy who gave bear hugs that made everything feel okay, even when things weren't. He coached my soccer team from age 6 through 13, wore that same old red cap to every game. He made pancakes every Sunday, always shaped like dinosaurs or stars, depending on our mood. He called me champ, and he meant it. Even when I lost, he'd ruffle my hair and say, "You did your best. That's what matters." Dad was a story guy. He had a new tale every week, something about a tough client, a delayed flight, a joke his boss told at a conference. He had a way of pulling you in. You didn't question him. You just listened. He worked as a regional sales director for a medical supply company. That's what he told us anyway. Lots of travel, lots of meetings, sometimes late-night calls. I remember once asking him why he missed my sister's school play. He looked at me with genuine guilt and said, "Sometimes work just won't wait, buddy." We lived in the kind of suburban neighborhood where everything looked nice, but not rich. 2-story homes, quiet streets, the occasional block party. Our house had white siding, blue shutters, and a yard Dad mowed every Sunday evening. Our golden retriever, Milo, used to wait at the door for him like clockwork. Mom was the home anchor, warm, kind, sometimes a little tired. She made our lives feel soft around the edges, handwritten lunch notes, humming while doing dishes. She called Dad her rock. We were normal, or at least, we believed we were. It's funny how you can live inside a lie and never know it until one piece falls out of place. For me, it was the day I borrowed Dad's car. My car was in the shop. Nothing major, just brakes. Dad tossed me the keys to his sedan, said, "She's a little dusty, but she'll get you there." When I slid into the seat, the smell hit me. Not his usual cologne. Something sweeter, vanilla, and something else. Faint, but present like crayons or juice. As I adjusted the seat, I noticed a balled-up receipt in the cup holder. I didn't mean to snoop, but my eyes naturally drifted. A cafe across town. Not his usual spot. 2 lattes, 2 kids' hot chocolates, 4 breakfast sandwiches. I stared at it, eyebrows furrowed. We weren't really a let's stop for coffee kind of family. Dad made his in a travel mug every morning. Black, no sugar. He hated sweet stuff. I figured maybe it was a work thing. Maybe someone brought their kids. Maybe he was being kind. I crumpled the receipt again. Dismissed it. But then came the phone call. We were watching a movie. I remember it was The Incredibles, a throwback favorite. Just the 2 of us. He laughed at the dad jokes more than I did. Then his phone buzzed. He didn't even check the number, just reached for it quickly, turned the screen face down, and let it ring. Curious, I flipped the phone just slightly. Ray, work. Ray? I'd never heard of Ray. I knew most of his team. He'd talked about a Mike, a Linda, even a Joel who always forgot his presentations. I asked him who Ray was. He smiled. That forced, tight smile he got when he didn't want to say something. "New hire," he said. Then he stretched, yawned, and asked if I wanted popcorn. Something in me shifted. I didn't know it yet, but a door had just cracked open, and behind it was a version of my life I wasn't ready to see. The patterns became impossible to ignore. Every other Thursday he left early. Always early, always the same excuse. Client meeting, big pitch, long drive. And always the same return late. Not exhausted, just off. Like he was floating above everything. He'd still hug Mom, Still smile, but the way he did it, it felt choreographed, practiced, empty. One Thursday, I decided I needed answers. I told Mom I was sleeping at my friend Tyler's, packed a bag, walked 2 blocks away, waited behind a hedge until Dad drove off. Then I followed him. I wasn't prepared for how nervous I felt. My heart pounded so loudly I thought other drivers could hear it. I stayed 4 car lengths back, kept checking my mirrors like I was in a movie. He drove for 10 minutes. That's it. 10 minutes. We turned into a neighborhood I didn't recognize. Older houses, fewer cars, trees with real roots. Then he slowed, turned onto a street called Briar Lane, pulled into the driveway of a modest blue house. I remember the flowers, pink hydrangeas, and a cracked garden gnome near the porch. He stepped out of the car and smiled. A woman came to the door, auburn hair, comfortable clothes. She smiled too big and easy, like she'd been waiting for him all day. She kissed him. Then 2 kids barreled out. "Daddy." I ducked. My breath hitched. I didn't know what I was feeling. Anger, shock, grief. I waited, watched. He picked one up, spun them around, walked into the house like he'd done it 1,000 times. He didn't look back, and I sat in my car, cold sweat on my neck, knowing somehow my life had just split in half. I couldn't confront him. Not yet. I needed proof. Something solid. So I dug. I searched names, social media, property records. I became someone else, a version of myself I didn't recognize. Obsessive, quiet, focused. Her name was Rachel Green, age 36, assistant manager at a local pharmacy. She had 2 kids, Elijah and Grace, 6 and 3. I found a photo, Dad, holding Grace at what looked like a birthday party, a backyard, balloons, cake with cartoon dinosaurs. Another photo, Rachel, Dad, and both kids at a pumpkin patch, all 4 smiling, matching flannel. And in the corner, his red cap, the same one he wore to my soccer games. My stomach turned. I pulled property records. He co-owned the house. He had helped buy it. He had a life in it. He had a family. I sat at my desk for hours, staring at the screen, clicking the same photos again and again, hoping they'd change, hoping it was a mistake. It never changed. I looked at our fridge the next morning covered in photos. Dad holding me as a baby, graduation pics, us in matching Christmas sweaters, and I wondered how many of those moments were real, or worse, how many were rehearsed. A week later, I confronted him. We were in the garage. He was fixing the lawnmower. That same old red cap pulled low. The smell of cut grass and motor oil hung heavy in the air. I stood in the doorway for a long time, holding the photo. He didn't notice me at first, not until I called his name. He looked up, wiped his hands, smiled like nothing was wrong. I handed him the picture, the one with him, Rachel, and the kids at the pumpkin patch. He took it and froze. Silence. His eyes scanned it once, twice. Then he exhaled. "You weren't supposed to find out like this," he said. His voice, it wasn't angry. It wasn't even apologetic. It was tired. I asked him how long. He didn't lie. 8 years, he said. I asked him if Mom knew. He shook his head. He said it started after my sister was born, that things got tough, that Mom had changed, that he felt alone. He said Rachel didn't know about us at first, that when she found out, he convinced her he was divorced, that he kept the two lives separate on purpose, that he was trying to protect everyone. I asked the question I never thought I'd ask my father, "Do you love them?" He looked at me, and I saw something shift behind his eyes. He didn't answer, so I asked again, louder this time, "Do you love them more than us?" He sat down on the bench, laid the photo next to the wrench. "I don't know," he whispered. "That's what broke me. Not the cheating, not the lying, but the uncertainty. The idea that maybe we weren't enough." I turned and walked away. He didn't call after me, just sat there, like he didn't know how to follow. And maybe he didn't. I told Mom 2 days later. It was raining. She was folding laundry, humming to herself. I interrupted her song with a word, "Mom," and everything changed. I showed her the photos, explained everything. Her hands went still. Shirt she was folding slipped onto the floor. She didn't cry, didn't scream. She just sat down. For the longest time, she didn't say anything, just stared out the window. Then she stood up, walked into the bedroom, packed a small suitcase. She kissed my sister on the forehead, walked out the door. She went to her sister's place and didn't come home for a week. Dad moved out not long after, took only a duffel bag, left everything else including a note I never read. The house felt wrong, off, silent in a way that hurt. Meals were eaten separately, doors closed quietly. The dog lay by the window, waiting for people who weren't coming back. I tried to talk to my sister, but she was too young to understand. She kept asking when Dad would be back, when Mom would stop crying at night. I didn't have answers. I barely had questions that made sense. I found myself staring at old family videos, Christmas mornings, Dad dancing with a Santa hat, Mom laughing while holding a pie. It all felt like someone else's life. Like I was watching actors pretending to love each other. Rachel reached out about a month later, through email. She apologized, said she found out everything about Mom, about me, about the double life. She sounded broken, angry, not at us, at him. She'd left him, packed up the kids, moved in with her sister across town. She wrote to my mom, too, a long message, full of remorse, not excuses, just pain. Mom didn't respond, but I saw her read it twice. Rachel asked if I wanted to meet the kids. I said no at first, but something inside me couldn't stop wondering. A week later, I said yes. We met at a park, neutral ground. I brought a baseball glove. Elijah and Grace were sweet, shy, confused. They didn't ask questions. They just wanted to play. We tossed the ball back and forth. Grace picked flowers. Elijah said I threw like his dad. I laughed. And then he said, "You're kinda like my big brother, huh?" That moment, it hit harder than anything else. Because he wasn't wrong. We shared blood, DNA, a father, but we also shared a betrayal. Dad kept trying. Texts, calls, voicemails. He said he wanted to talk, to explain, to make things right. He said he was sorry, said he missed us. I ignored everyone. He wrote letters, left them in the mailbox. Folded pages full of regret and rationalization. I read one. It said, "You'll understand one day. Number, I won't. Some things, they don't get better with time. They don't heal with words. You don't abandon one life for another. and expect to walk back through the door like nothing changed. Some bridges burn so completely, you forget they were ever there. It's been over a year now. Mom eventually came back, but things aren't the same. They never will be. She smiles less, sleeps more. She's quieter now, so am I. My sister still asks questions. I give her soft truths. I can't hand her the whole thing. Not yet. Dad still tries, still sends messages, still lives in the city alone, I think. Rachel never took him back, and neither did we. I don't know if I'll ever forgive him. Some days, I miss the dad I thought I had, the one who made pancakes, who danced with a Santa hat, who called me champ. Other days, I wonder if that dad ever existed at all. But I know this. Secrets rot everything they touch. No matter how carefully you build your life, one lie, one betrayal, one decision can bring it all down. Some people bury their sins deep, others spread them wide. My dad kept his 10 minutes away. And no matter how far you drive, you can't outrun the truth. Not ever.